We're going to go to Dylan, Kenny, Elise, and more after this segment, or perhaps somewhere down the line in this segment. But I really do want to just get right back into Earth 2100. When we last left Lucy, everything was still plentiful in her eyes. We were at 2012, and she lived in a big house, and there was green grass, and everybody had water and food. Those are the good old days. The good old days. The days that we're experiencing today, when the economy is crashing. Remember, they're intertwining news stories with this, and they continue to do so. And again, the experts are telling you how bad it's going to get. Well, it's about to get bad in 2012 and then into 2015 and further. Hit the clip.
Have known what was happening. We had a compact car and recycled. And it wasn't just us. Smart, imaginative people everywhere were working furiously on solutions. Our government was pouring money into alternative energy. It seemed like everyone was growing their own vegetable garden.
Let me pause it right there.
Windmills were sprouting up all...
Nobody's planting their own vegetable garden at this point because they're trying to outlaw it. They're trying to say it's illegal to organically farm. There's the propaganda. See, they're showing that everybody's starting to work together. We're all acclimated to recycling. Everybody's recycling, and the government is now truly pouring all this money into, quote, alternative energy and carbon credits. But that's on purpose. That's to make us sacrifice while they gain more power, while they really flourish in this environment. Well, believe me, they're not going to drive a smaller car. They're not going to give up their personal jet. They're not going to own a smaller home. They're not going to use less water. That's for you and yours, okay? And now they're showing, oh, man, we were really trying to get it together by 2012. All these windmills and there's solar power, and everybody was really smart, and they were working towards the betterment of humanity. Hit it.
Over. People were beginning to understand. But the clock was running out, and nature was always one step ahead.
Flowers are blooming earlier, and trees are leafing earlier. Birds are coming back from migration much earlier.
If you were to pull back from the Earth, what you would see is sort of a refugee movement, if you will. And species are moving their ranges farther north to get to cool, from south to north, and from the valleys up to the mountaintops.
Of course, as a child, I didn't notice these things, having nothing to compare it to. I was a little girl enchanted by my small world, until one summer, thousands, maybe millions of dragonflies showed up out of nowhere. They were delicate and beautiful, and I put one in a jar. My mother was puzzled and looked them up. They were supposed to be in Cuba, not Miami. It was not until much later that I realized they were a sign of what was to come.
See, there it is. They're migrating.
6 short years from now. And the best laid plans are getting underway. A wave farm off Scotland is harnessing the ocean's energy. Vatican City has gone totally solar. And here in America, cars are running cleaner and more efficiently. Still, we cling to that old habit, oil. It's getting harder and more expensive to find.
All right, let's stop it. Literally telling you 6 years from now, they're going to roll out with their peak oil hardcore and say, look, we just don't have enough. We're going to have to start charging $5, $6, $7 a gallon again. And they show you the oil prices. They're going to show you the gas prices if you're watching prisonplanet.tv. And the whole point of these locusts, if you will, that's what the dragonflies represent. They're going north from Cuba to Miami because, oh, we have to migrate north where it's getting a little bit warmer. Oh, global warming is a reality. It's very bad for everybody. And they continue to harp on it. They say things like, oh, Vatican City has gone completely solar. Well, that is a possibility. You know, we're seeing stadiums now built for just micro amounts of money compared to in this country. Overseas, we did a story on it. I can't remember exactly where it was, but it was fully solar powered. This is possible. Solar power has gotten that far in the public realm that we could use solar power as a viable source of energy, but they don't want you to have free energy. Do you really think that the elite would like you to have free energy that they don't have control over and they can't charge you for every single month? and then have control over your lifestyle, depending on how much that bill is. They know what your way of life is going to be. They know whether you're going to be going paycheck to paycheck and struggling to pay that bill. They'll just increase it for sunlight. Sunlight. Not something they have to, refine or collect. Sunlight. They want to regulate sunlight. They don't like you off the grid. Hit the clip.
Coast to coast, motorists are searching for relief from soaring gas prices in California.
We could see a doubling or tripling of real oil prices. That's after inflation.
We're running out of oil, and we've created a society, the American way of life is what we call it, based on the assumption that oil will be plentiful forever.
The large spread out suburbs that we've grown accustomed to, the strip malls, the big box stores with their enormous parking lots around them, all of those have been made possible because we've had cheap gasoline. And as energy becomes much more expensive, you'll see that those areas become less desirable places to live.
Right there, folks, they prepared you for the ghost towns because of peak oil. Peak oil's a reality, and now we have ghost towns.
The first time I moved, I was 6. A lot of people were leaving the suburbs for the city. There were
Let's
new
pause
jobs
it for a moment.
And
you notice everybody's leaving the suburbs for the city. Now, if you've listened to Alex Jones for the past how many years, in Road to Tyranny, the first breakthrough 9/11 film, in my opinion, he talks about their desire to get us into a cashless city control grid. They don't want you living in the country. They don't like strong communities where you know your neighbor. They don't like the middle class. That's why Lou Dobbs has been reporting on the war on the middle class for almost 5 years now, if not more. It might actually be more that he uses that tagline, war on the middle class. And now, oh, my family's forced to move. We've got to go to the city where the jobs are. This global warming is just terrible. All right, can we hit the clip? Let's hit it.
you didn't need a car for everything. My dad was going to work on the new streetcar system in Miami. And my mother told me we were going to live on the top floor of an apartment building. She said we'd see the palm trees below us. I was excited, but also a little sad to leave.
As the price of oil goes up, it will ripple through every part of the global economy.
In Washington today, protesters demanded an end to rising food prices.
Our agriculture system is almost wholly dependent on cheap oil. Tremendous amounts of diesel fuel that are used in planting and harvesting, and then moving the stuff all these vast distances.
By 2015 in the United States, add about 20 million people to the population, and then just play out what that does to consumption patterns.
All right, let's pause it for a second. Let's play out what that does do to consumption. Well, maybe the government will stop subsidizing agriculture. In other words, they will stop paying people not to grow their surplus or just kill their surplus. We have enough resources on the planet to feed everybody. If we wanted to feed everybody, we could feed everybody. That's not in the cards. They already feel that the world is overpopulated. They like their eugenics program of soft kill, of sterilization. Okay? So for them to say to you, oh, well, prices are going to have to go up because of oil and we just don't have enough food, it's total Johnny nonsense. It's total shenanigans. Listen, when I lived in upstate New York, there's a thing called the Amish, okay? What they use is horse and buggy, and they till their own fields. They survive. They're self-sufficient. They can grow their own food. They get by. But we're not able to do that because we're such weak-minded idiots. We've become soft. Remember, dodgeball is banned in some schools. Dodgeball. That's how soft we are. We are softer than a marshmallow in most cases. And a lot of people are going to lap up this propaganda crap and think it's a reality. All right, I'm going to take some calls right now. Then we're going to go back to Earth 2100 on the other side and do the same kind of format here. This is just too important not to cover every little bit because it's taking you step by step what they're actually trying to do, and that is to create this new control system based on the environment and your fear of it. Let's go to Colleen in Pennsylvania. Colleen, you're online. Yes, Colleen.
Thank you for taking my call again, Bermas. How are you?
Good.
Excellent. I had the honor of doing a conference call with my local House Representative, Konjorsky, again today. And We Are Change Cell confronted him regarding the HR Bill 1207,
And that's the one to audit the Fed. For those that don't know, it has over 180 co-sponsors at this point.
Yes, actually, it's 190 co-sponsors. And
wow.
so far, that's right.